As it turns out, the privacy of painting has been interrupted by the publicity of the now the individual gives way to. The community. Pretty sure had you said to real painter of the day, I'd like to record you painting, they'd have probably pissed on your leg. Nowadays, it's part of the practice. Nowadays, like, I can't imagine going to even someone as recent as Andy Warhol and say, let me watch you cook your dinner with a camera. Or maybe, walking up to, Marie Curie while she's baking bread and saying, I hear you make some amazing chemical constructions. Would you mind if I filmed you making bread? I just think the entire expectations of the day, which is of course today, are very different than the day yesterday, So diddle fuck me around, as old people do. Because this is, kind of like a garden. Where, a bug flits and a slug slides along. No conclusions, like, you gotta maintain, for me, the weeds, it's fine. The unexpected plants, the little flowers that you didn't plant and that you didn't necessarily know were going to be there, let alone want. Those little weeds, they're like, people don't like spiders. Well, I live in an RV, and if I didn't have spiders, I'd have a hell of a lot more gnats than I want to deal with. I think that's about perfect. I really just would, okay, one more and that's it, and we're done. Some people want to do too much.
I'd maybe do some gold.
No,
with these.
That would be a different day. Today we're right there. Look, it's right. Can't be in a hurry.
can't be shy.
I ain't shy. I just happen to know what I'm doing. So, for the purpose of the viewer, what I am doing, I'll tell you. A guitar as a substrate for a painting. It's not intended to hang on a wall, although it better be good enough to do so. It's intended to be played in front of people. And it reflects light. And when a guitar player is playing it, the guitar player is moving, unless they're really lame. I have to tell you a tiny little story. I saw Blue Oyster Cult back in the day with Brownsville Station. Jesus Christ, Brownsville Station just fucking rocked the house. Smoking in the boys' room, you know, all their other songs. They were fucking tearing it up with their outrageous, you know, high-heeled boots. And I was a teenager. It was a long time ago. And then came Blue Oyster Cult. They were so fucking boring. The lead guitar player playing the guitar solo of whatever their stupid hit is. Sort of the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper, right? Fuck. Guy stood stock still, just like bored. He'd played, every note was perfect. He played every note exactly the same as the record. It was like, you know, you might as well be a fucking mannequin, man. It was so boring. And as a teenager, you know, 15 years, a young kid, you know, I didn't know enough about music to know who's good or bad. I was paying attention to the performance. And fucking Blue Oyster Cult was boring. Boring. Oh, I like this. You know what I like about this? By dragging. Yeah.
Show 'em.
Okay, so. I'm really into the idea that paintings are excavations of something that hasn't yet existed. So you have to create and excavate at the same time, which is, you know, obviously a misnomer. However, in this case, I think I'm right at the edge of that. I usually do like 5 or 6 layers, but in this case, you know, we're at 2 layers. I've got some colored pencil, and I've got some PBO oil-based paint intended for cathedral windows, stained glass windows for cathedrals, which is some really terrific paint. And I don't know if you noticed, but I was dragging my brush, you know, not intending to be intentional with the marks, but intending to be leaving tracks, you know, like a wounded animal. You know, I don't think people consider that aren't artists. They don't consider the speed of a mark, the nature of a mark. They just go around making marks, you know. Artists and me, in very particular, each mark, you know, this one, that one, you make the marks on purpose, you know. And when it's a foggy day, you have to make foggy marks. You know, and when you're right up against it with a knife, you're gonna cut the heart out of a fallen deer. You better be accurate. Those were different times, you know. Just saying. That's pretty good.
It be.
It's not dumb.